in 13 years. Boy, does that wake people up. They're like, oh, okay, that makes some sense to me. So anyway, finally my sponsor, who was very direct and very blunt, and I'm also very grateful for that. And she just said, I'm not taking no for an answer, and you're coming to this car presentation with me. And at that point, she really had broken me down, and I was like, oh my gosh, fine. I'm like, Shane, my husband, I'm like, we're going. Her dad had done my braces. I'm like, we're going to go have a drink on the dock, and we're just going to listen. And I listened, and I was informed, I was impressed, it was fun, but it still didn't connect with me. And it was actually my husband, you guys, that on the drive home, he was like, I really think we should do this thing. And I'm like, what happened to you back there? I'm like, what? And he's like, no, I'm really serious. He's like, what's the worst thing that could happen? We'll be really clean for a couple of years. And I'm like, he's got a point. How was I ever going to know? So another lesson is I really encourage people when you do, like Shane and I, whenever we had car presentations, we would kind of make a date night out of it. And we would invite the person I was inviting, and I would encourage them to bring their husband. I think it's really powerful when you can get the husbands involved right away and really seeing this opportunity and seeing what it is and meeting another husband. So anyway, so I went home and I thought he was crazy, but I said, okay. And this is the third. So number one was, follow up, fortunes in the follow up. Number two, get the husbands involved. Number three, you guys be 100% coachable. I will, and you guys, I questioned it. There were times I hung up the phone, maybe didn't have such kind words or thoughts, pure thoughts of my sponsor at the moment. But she was where I wanted to be. She was successful. And I knew that I wanted to be where she was. And so I did it. And I did it no matter what. And I didn't question. If there was a retreat and it cost us extra money, I went. If she told me to go book my literally, if she would have told me to jump off a bridge, I would have done it. But you guys, the reason why I tell that is because, I went very quickly, but that was good old fashioned work ethic backed up by following our system for success. And that's it. And had I not been 100% coachable, that story would have been very, very different, very different. So, and I know that your upline and whoever's coaching you wants the very, 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 very best for you. And yes, you guys, things were out of my comfort zone. Okay, so this is funny. So the two things that I was most petrified of when I started my Arbonne business was public speaking. And this is public right now. I would turn red. People still talk about it. I would have pit stains. I really think people joined my team when I first started because they felt sorry. They were like, she's so bad. She's like, if she can do it, I can do it. I mean, I really think they thought that. And the second thing is I was petrified to fly in airplanes. And so you just heard, I've been on 3 ENVP challenge trips around the world, let alone going to Vegas, let alone this and that and the other. But my world was so small. And so I'm so grateful for Arbonne opening up that vision for me. And all the people that we get to meet and learn along the way in this business. And, I was even talking to one of my leaders today. I'm like, I kind of get a little antsy now if I don't have a little Arbonne trip like once a month just to hang out with my buddies and get my cup filled up and get inspired or whatever it is where I'm going. So I'm forever grateful. But those were the two things that I was scared to death of. You guys, I was the reason my why for doing Arbonne, and I'll be perfectly honest, it started out purely income. And I say that just to be honest, but I saw the income potential. I saw where in the heck was I going to go and have a remote chance of earning $22,000 a month and driving a free white Mercedes if I wasn't going to give this Arbonne thing a try. So I did have a good paying job. My husband and I worked at the same company. My daughter was 3. My son was 1. She's now 16 and driving. That's super fun. And my son will be 14 in August. So they're true Arbonne babies. But I kind of, our past president, Rita Davenport, always said, you have 18 summers with your children. 3 had already gone by with my daughter. I really wanted to replace that income. We did have some debt. I wanted to be able to pay off that debt. And I just wanted to really have more choices in life. And at the time, that was, my friends call it lust for life. I do like nice things. We lived in Colorado at the time. I wanted to be able to teach my children how to ski. Skiing is very, very, very expensive. My family had a condo in the mountains when I grew up. I always thought that would be a great dream. So, those were the reasons why. Of course, as you all know, the friendships, the personal growth and development, helping people become successful, all those kinds of things are far more rewarding in the end. And I don't know how long you guys have been involved in Arbonne or anything, but I had some life happen in my world about 2 years ago, and it was the big 2x4 across the head. It wasn't me personally, but a family member. I'm fine. I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea. But the point being was that my Arbonne family was there for me, and it was pretty amazing. And so when I started out this business, purely to make money and quit my job, to have that come back to you, it's just priceless. And I kind of feel bad for people that don't have their Arbonne family to back them up and be there for them. And that's what we're a part of. And this culture, and you guys, I had done another network marketing company before, ever so briefly and very poorly. Wasn't a right fit, and that's fine. But I have been also exposed to other network marketing companies, a lot of them in the past 13 years. And you guys, there's nothing better than Arbonne's culture. Nothing. I mean, we really are the cream of the crop. So I ask a tough question. Back up to following the system. You guys, besides being coachable, you guys follow the system and plug in. Again, I wouldn't have promoted if I wasn't on every recorded call. I went to every Start Now. I went to every Discover Arbonne in Denver. I mean, I poured my heart and soul into this business, and it really was a season of my life. And I always tell everybody, for that first year, it really was my job, my family, and Arbonne. I didn't do a lot of extras because I really saw this as my way out, so to speak. But you guys, I tell everybody that year of work has continued to pay us for the past 12 years. Obviously, I've consistently stayed working and all those kinds of things, but my 2 direct ENVPs came out of that first year in my business. Now, I want to tell you a fun story about that too, because as you're growing an organization, get to know your people, reach down, because ENVP Tara Brandsma is a second generation. So I had sponsored somebody, and then that person sponsored Tara. Yeah, that'll give that person's gone, right? So just kind of think about that, and that's kind of crazy, right? And then ENVP Molly Guile was 7 generations down from somebody at work that I sponsored, that sponsored a neighbor, that sponsored, all the way down. All those people quit in between. So you guys think about that. But I had relationships with these people because I always made sure I reached down, at least introduced myself, said hi. Maybe I wasn't working with them every day, but it's when they rose, because the cream will rise to the top, as we always say. I knew who they were, and we had relationships. So you guys, you never know where your top leaders are going to come from, okay? So a question that I always ask, and this is kind of where it gets a little real, but I think it's really a good one, and I actually learned this from ENVP. Actually, I just gave her an E. ENVP Evelyn Bennett, MVP Evelyn Bennett. But are you interested or are you committed to building your Arbonne business? Are you interested or are you committed? Because when you're interested, our excuses can get in the way. And if things are an inconvenience or not exactly the right time, or we might not feel like it. I always joke with everybody. I'm like, if you thought I felt like doing Arbonne every single time I did Arbonne, that's not the case. Okay, you fake it till you make it, right? But are you committed? Are you really committed? And I was really, truly, and have always been committed to building my Arbonne business. And you guys, I've coined a saying, we have all our little sayings in Arbonne, but I coined the saying, a little bit of Arbonne every day goes a long way. Meaning, you guys, can you be committed? Can you be consistent? And whatever that consistency looks like in your world, I mean, obviously be coached, like I said, by whoever's coaching you. But, is that you're working a million hours a week and you have 20 children? Is that one reach out a day, or can you do 30 minutes a day, or can you do an hour a day? Or what kind of consistent schedule can you build into your life to build your Arbonne business? Because no matter what, consistency will build over time. It's when we start and stop and start and stop and start and stop that kills our businesses, that kills our momentum, that kills our doubt, that kills all those things, those crazy conversations that we have in our head. And trust me, I've had plenty of them to go around for all of us. Okay. You guys, there's nothing that a full calendar can't fix in Arbonne. There's nothing. It increases your paycheck. It increases your team. It increases your confidence. It increases how much fun you're having in Arbonne. Okay. So really lean into that. I always say lean in, and lean into the things that scare you the most, because that's the thing that's going to bring you the most success. That's the one or two things. And I always tell my team this: every single one of you are closer than you think. Every single one of you are closer than you think. But again, we tell ourselves these stories. So you guys, I really challenge you, get with who your sponsors. If you're really, really ready, you're really ready. And I see no reason after GTC, what's coming from Arbonne, all these great things that we have coming our way, I see no reason why now is not the time to dig your heels in and ask your sponsor. Say, hey, if there are three things that, because here's what we know. And we have to sometimes ask for the truth. And I'll tell you, my sponsor just offered it up for me. I didn't have to ask. She was just brutally honest. But again, you guys, I would have never grown. I would have been the same person I was when I started this business. And I needed to grow. I needed to grow big time. So she needed to be honest with me. So, if you're committed enough, ask your sponsor, what are the three things that you think are holding me back? Or what are the three things that you think that I can incorporate into my business that will propel me to the next level of where I want to be? But be prepared to, one, hear the answer, and be prepared to lean in and do that work. Because I promise you, once you do it, that easy button from Staples, you're literally going to go, well, that was easy. But we make it up to be these crazy hard things in our head, and it's just not. You guys, no one has ever died from skincare. They haven't. Okay. So go out and have fun. People are looking for these products. People want these products. People want this opportunity. People want this culture that we have. They want it. They want to be a part of something. And so you got to share it, though. We have to open up our office, which is our mouth. We just have to. And yes, people are going to say no. You guys, my 4 besties, check this out. You guys, this is another good story. See, you have so many good stories to tell when you have a story. So 4 besties give me the Heisman when I start my Arbonne business. They give me the big fat no, okay? So one joined another Arbonne team because she felt her upline was more successful than mine, okay? That ENVP is no longer in the business, nor is she, okay? The second one joined another network marketing company, and she has a paragraph in a book written about her. So that one still stings a little bit, but she's successful, so good for her. The other 2, it took a couple of years to see that I was using the products, that I was being successful. And so now they're great PCs, they host, they do all sorts of lovely, awesome, supportive Arbonne things. But they were all 4 hard no's when I first started. And this was the best advice my husband ever gave me, because he said, because it was hurtful, right? You're like, what? My friends don't support me. Oh my gosh, no one's ever going to want to do Arbonne. I'm never going to be successful. I'm never going to promote. Oh my gosh, the train wreck just starts going, right? And Shane said, are they going to pay for our kids' college fund? Are they going to pay for our mortgage? Are they going to pay for our retirement? And are they educated in network marketing? And I said, no. And he goes, then why would you let those 4 people determine the destiny of our family? Another good point, right? So he's like, you will find people that want to do this business. And so you guys, I asked everybody. I asked everybody to join this business. I led with the business because I believe so passionately in this business. Again, where can the average Joe go out and have the opportunity to earn $22,000 or more a month. Most of us can't. And I know I was one of them that couldn't. So that's what I did. You guys remember that this is a business, treat it as such. That's that little bit of Arbonne every day goes a long way. Find what that is in your world and be committed to it, and go through your 90-day cycles. You guys, you've got to go full 90-day cycles. And that's where I see a lot of people making a mistake. They're working hard, and, it's day 70, it's day 80, and things just really aren't turning. And then maybe they're on their second 90-day cycle and it just hasn't quite happened yet. That's where you got to believe, get with your sponsor. Maybe sometimes there's a few things that can tweak, but generally speaking, if you're doing the do, that is going to turn over and your business is going to explode. Everybody's story is different. And, Tara used to always say, because, I did promote very quickly, but Tara was great. She's like, Lori followed the system. She just did the system, on steroids, and just, instead of doing 2 presentations a week, I would do 5 or 6 a week. I just did more. And I loved that about this business. I know that's not a fit for everyone, but I was desperate for my way out. So anyway, so that's kind of the Colorado story. I do want to share that my husband did get a promotion to Albuquerque, New Mexico. Let's see, that would have been 5 years ago. We knew it wasn't a place that we wanted to stay forever, but I also felt in my heart we needed to see where it was going to lead us. And I also felt like I really needed to be a supportive wife. But because of Arbonne, I quote unquote agreed to it because I knew we weren't going to be stuck in Albuquerque. And I loved that I had built my business enough that we were in a place. So that whole build it before you need it, or you can really see that need. I knew that if he was miserable or we were completely miserable, we were never going to be stuck in New Mexico. Great place to visit, not the greatest place to live. And that we would be able to leave when we needed. And you guys, that time came. That time came 3 years into it when Shane's like, we need to go. And that's when we decided whether we wanted to go back to Colorado. And instead we picked a journey. And again, that's because of Arbonne. And we picked to live in Austin, Texas, and have a new experience for our family and live by a lake and do all sorts of different things than what Shane and I did growing up in Colorado. And again, you guys, that's all because of Arbonne, because I worked it before I could see that need or even know. Another thing really quickly, and it's funny because I'm going to speak at ENVP Mary Wright's retreat this summer. And, I was like, I really want to share some stuff about stories, but we never wanted them to come across as bragging. But you guys, my daughter was diagnosed with dyslexia when she was in 1st grade. And again, that's not a horrible, horrific diagnosis. I understand that. But she definitely has had to have a lot of additional education, a lot of additional tutoring, a lot of additional therapy. And you guys, I am forever grateful for Arbonne because we would not have been able to support her the way that I have been able to support her because of Arbonne. And I am, again, forever grateful that I did it when she was 3, didn't know that we would be needing that extra income, being able to make those choices. So she can be, and she's getting great grades, she's going to be applying to college. I mean, everything's going really well, but I know it's because of Arbonne and we've been able to afford those. So, if you can't see that now, know that there'll be a need one day, and it doesn't have to be anything negative. It can be something fun and exciting, but plan for it now. Do the work now. ENVP Linda Parker, we did a call with her the other day, and stay connected to your whys, but also your whos. And I liked how she said that, we're always talking about our why and what is our why. And so my why was to quit my job, but my whos were to be with my children more. Now, you guys, in the beginning, the 2 things that I wanted more of, I had to give up a little less time with, and that was income, because I needed to get some products to get my business started. And that was time with my kids, so I could have, in turn, more time with my kids later, because nothing was going to change. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So those are my whos, and I really, now, trust me, I spend plenty of time with them. They're good. We're all happy. You guys, share this business because it's so much easier. Okay, so when I was starting my business, we had 1 opportunity a month, and that was our monthly nation meeting. And, that's when you took live guests to your nation meeting, and you had them sit down next to you in the row, we couldn't text out a SoundCloud or record a call or record a video or all the amazing things that we can share now. There's seriously no reason why you can't share this business with one person a day. Find your favorite SoundCloud, have a favorite 3 or 4 SoundClouds that really speak to you, that you think speak to the people that you're talking to. Ask them to take a listen to this business, because it really has and don't prejudge. Don't prejudge. You guys, now that I'm a little older, I turned the big 50 this year in September. That's a little painful. Not going to lie. I did not think it was going to be painful, but it's getting in September and it's getting closer. And I'm like, wow, that's a big number. But you guys, I have a lot of my friends that did not see the vision, and they're still in corporate America, and with those golden handcuffs. And you guys, it's hard on them. It's hard on their I see their health and their lifestyle, and they can't see it at this age. Like, how can they get out? And I'm like, there's a way. Look at Eunice Ray rocking it out at GTC. I mean, if that wasn't the coolest thing ever, I don't know what was. So you guys, I think I'm about up. Yep. I kind of went over a little bit. Sorry. That's another funny thing too. And then I'll be quiet. But when I first started Arbonne, I was so afraid to talk. I would get on here and I'd be like, okay, Arbonne's great. Rock it out. Follow the system. Okay. And I would be done. And now, like I said, I'm so passionate about helping people. So I hope one thing, like I said, you've probably heard everything I shared before. Sometimes we hear it differently. I would always joke, I'd say something and nobody would hear it. And then one of my teammates would call and go, did you hear what Linda Parker said? Oh my gosh, it was totally amazing. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I've been saying that for 6 months, but if you heard it from Linda Parker, then that's fine. So you guys, thank you for letting me be part of your evening. Sorry, I went over a little bit. If there's anything else you wanted me to share, I can do that real quick. If not, again, thank you so much.
You guys, again, I just want to say that was Lori Lucero, and remember, you guys, this gal is a 2-wide ENVP, 3-time MVP Challenge trip earner, and $1 Million All-Star. And that was packed full of information. I know the gals here want to say
thank you.
Thank you.
You're hilarious.
They were giggling and laughing the whole time. You are awesome, and you just had us kind of, chuckling with you.
Good. That's good. You got to have fun along the way. You have to.
I love that. Absolutely. But we got so much out of that. The girls here, they're all pretty new in the business. And you said a lot of things that they were sitting back here going, yeah, that's it. That's, they were totally agreeing with you. So I know that you've touched so many hearts tonight. And if you want to read the chats, I know that, let me see if there's any questions here real quick.
I'm Carlita, hello. Very sweet. Thank you guys all for the kind words. Very, very kind.
Lots of things on here. I'm looking to make sure that, somebody said committed. Absolutely. You have to be committed. But I love that too. Interested versus committed. I love that point, and I'm going to put that in my memory bank up here. Interested versus committed. I love that. But you said a lot of great things. That some of the things you said, honestly, I haven't heard the way you've said it in a long time. There are things that sometimes we know as leaders from a long time ago that we heard, and they haven't been said in a while, that are simple, to the point, the basics of this business. So I really appreciate hearing those things. And I know what you mean by you'll say something and then somebody else say it. I get that. The famous Carlita Nelson says it and they go, oh.
Right? You didn't say anything.
But that's okay as long as they get it, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm just looking through here to make sure that there's nothing else. And I just want to say, she says, what if you try to reach people and they never respond back? What do you do, or how can I get their attention to respond back? Let's see what you have to say about that.
So, the average, what's the statistic? I'm not going to share it, right? But they say, you really have to reach out 4 times. And so I let a little time go by, and I don't have like a method to my madness, I will say. But I will reach back out. And then sometimes I'll even do oh my gosh, I hope I didn't offend you. We were friends before Arbonne. We'll always be friends after Arbonne. I just really thought of you. And if not, I thought maybe but I do know that you know someone who could really use this business. So I just want to inform you of this business so you know what it is that I do, because oftentimes, because you guys, everybody assumes what they don't know what we do until they really listen to us. So I will generally follow up with 4 is kind of the magic number with me. And then obviously after that, I don't want to stalk them or anything like that. But I kind of go back to, look at my sponsor, you guys, 2.5 years. And out of those 2.5 years, I maybe got back to her 2 or 3 times. I was downright rude. I wasn't, gosh, bless her. And like I said, forever grateful. What if she would have given up on me? Yes. What if she would have quit? You guys, that's the other thing. Shut the back door. What, you share the business with somebody today and then, you decide to walk away and in 2 years' time they're ready. Don't do that. Be there for them. What if she would have quit? I remember Tara Bransma and I were talking one time and we're like, oh my gosh, what if we would have said no? And we just literally shivered. So I kind of always think about that and how I was followed up with for 2.5 years. So I'll give it 4, and then I don't know, maybe I'll let a year go by and I'll be like, I'm still thinking about you. But I feel like these days, I've gotten some pretty direct, hard no's here recently that are kind of funny, really, because they're so direct. But I actually wrote them back and I said, you know what, I really appreciate you getting back to me, because I'd rather somebody
me too
say no than, so that's kind of, everything's different, kind of gauge it from your gut too. This person, I think it's hard to have a black and white system on that, because we know the people that we're calling. There are personal connections. So
I love how you said, who do you know? You didn't just stop, if they're truly acting like they're not interested. I love how you said, well, who do you know might be interested? And I think that's what happens a lot of times, don't you, is that people just shut down when they hear no, or they don't get the response that they're looking for. And it's kind of, we got to work them through the funnel. So I love that, Lori. And let me see if there's anything else. A lot of people said, great inspiration and greetings from New Mexico.
Oh, I love New Mexico. I just visited there. I love visiting.
She said she lives in Austin now.
Yes, she lives in Austin, Texas now. So, well, Lori, we don't want to take too much of your time this evening, but we want to say thank you so very much. And again, I just adore you and I love your heart. And you know what? You can tell that you just purely love on people. And that's what I've always loved about you, is just the, straight, direct, honest love that you have for people. So we appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's been so fun having you here on my patio tonight.
I know. I love it. It looks like a fun patio.
We had a blast tonight. It was great. So we all been building up to listen to you. So
thank you.
Thanks
for asking.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Take care. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks, everyone, for being on.